Because he killed fucking Nicole.
Yeah, man, Kira was a problem.
You have no idea. You've been talking to him about it for 20 episodes.
Alright, we are calling all Gundam seed pilots. Are you ready to double your deployment? Join us on Patreon and get double episodes dropped right away. Once we reach 30 patrons, we'll bring double episodes to YouTube for everybody to experience. So fuel your Gundam addiction on Patreon. So let's build this community together, join Patreon, and get those double episodes of Gundam Seed.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Justin, and we are back with another episode of Gundam Seed. First off though, we got a comment from the YouTubes. Zero Hera from the episode Crossroads. I don't agree that Lacus could have stopped the battle at any moment since she got aboard the Archangel. If anything, this was the only moment when she could have used her position to stop the fighting, as 1, she knows Kira doesn't want to fight, and 2, she knows the Archangel isn't interested in picking a fight, just survival. And 3, she being in the hands of Zaft gives her the ability to actually communicate with them, not as a hostage, but as a civil authority figure. We have to remember that she is a very sheltered person, the daughter of the chairman of the plants, and a popular singer. She hasn't had experiences with the Earth Alliance until the confrontation with the ship that forced her into a life pod. Meeting the Archangel and its crew, however, showed her that there are good people on the other side, and that she wants to keep them safe. So, using the minimal authority she has at the moment that it was clear that Rao was going to ignore the terms of her release, she intervened, displaying a side of her that no one, not even her fiancé, had seen or expected from her. That she intervened at shows that there is a line she feels Zaft should not cross, and she will take action if she feels that her presence will have an impact on the situation.
Well said. Very well said.
I think it's a thing that I've often brought up before, that I am often... Sorry, the word just escaped me. I want to say hyperbolic. I'm very flippant, is the word I often use. I'm very flippant when I'm just saying random shit. When I say that she could have stopped things at any moment, I know that they're not going to just let her walk up on the bridge and say shit. I'm just saying that clearly she had the authority to stop stuff because she used her authority to stop stuff. So to say that she's blameless in any situation, look, the girl wanders out of a room all the time, no matter if she's in lockdown or not. She could have just wandered up to the bridge and tried something. Did she? No. She wanders into a hallway to hear some weird crying noises.
I see both sides of it. I understand all the points said, other than the fact of crying noises. That's not crying noises. That's someone being stabbed by some weird thing while crying and then eating some sort of strange food. Whatever that noise was, it's not human.
What it is somebody with a choking fetish whose safety word is not being recognized.
That's close to it.
That's what I heard. Anyway, I'm not in depth on the... They're responding to a thing from 18 episodes ago. I'm not super hard on for, oh, Lacus could have done all this. I'm just saying it's possible. There's the possibility exists, and that if you wanted to look at Flay's viewpoint of who's to blame, and then finding out that Lacus, with a word, could have stopped everything, doesn't look good for that relationship. Is all I think there. But yeah, that has been our comment from a recent episode on the YouTube anyway. How about you go ahead and remind us of what happened last time?
What I recall from last time was a whole lot of fighting. We had the death of
2 people.
Two people. Guy with green hair, which I can't remember his name.
Starts with an N.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's going to take you a minute. Can you figure it out in a minute before you get there? I dropped him the link to the board for everyone.
Probably not.
The other one starts with a T.
I don't think I'm figuring out any of those names right now.
I mean, T dot E.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, no, I can remember his face, but not his name.
Really? I'd have the opposite effect. He looks so generic to me, but I just know his name. I mean, we only thought he was going to die for a couple episodes before he died.
Not using that on there. Either way, we have one of the characters we've had, actually both we've had from the very beginning. One was a part of the crew there with his lovely girl. He was flying a jet, which he thought he was so cool, and it just turned out to not be his day. Toll. The toll was taken from him, and on this day.
Wasn't clever. That one just wasn't clever. I'm not giving you that one.
Hey, all my jokes don't hit. I'm fine with that. And then we have Nicole, who got in the way of a shot which Kira very clearly could have not taken, but cool anime visual moment.
Yeah, I want to bring something up here. Keep going, because it's going to take me a minute to figure out the wording to remember.
Perfect. Then after that, there was a whole lot of crashing on an island, and in that moment, we had Dirka surrender because it looked like he was basically down and out, and we've pretty much not confirmed it. Kira should be dead because there was a big explosion and he was in the cockpit. He should be filled with shrapnel, even if he got out just beforehand.
Okay. The note here is that there's a change to the animation of the episode in the HD remaster, which is what we're watching. Nicole's death was changed into an accident. Instead of Kira swinging the name of sword at the Blitz Gundam, it ran into the blade instead, while charging at the strike. So what we're supposed to have seen is Kira pulling the sword away in a weird sideways thing, and Nicole just fucking runs through it, cutting himself in half.
I'm happy that we didn't get that.
No, that's what we got. That's what we were supposed to have interpreted that as. That Nicole killed himself on Kira's blade.
Yeah, no, I'm happy we didn't get that in the one we're watching.
No, that's what we got. I'm telling you, that's what we were supposed to have seen.
No. What I'm saying, yeah, it didn't look like that.
No, you're not following me here. In the original, Kira swings and kills him, apparently. In the one that we watched, the sideways blade thing is supposed to be Nicole running into it. That is the change.
But that's not what it looks like.
That's what it looks... Apparently, it's what it's supposed to look like.
With all due respect on this next comment, because I couldn't do anything near it, do better. That's not what it looks like.
I will say, I have watched it like 3 times now. Not specifically because of that, because I'm taking notes and everything.
Yep.
There is an element of what looks to be like Kira pulling the blade backwards, and the Blitz is moving forwards. So there is an element of possibly the intention there is Kira's trying to pull away from this. But I don't like the... and that is a very Han Solo change, right? Did Han shoot first, sort of thing? To now go from Kira killed him to Kira's trying not to kill him. It also really makes Nicole a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
He goes from sympathetic to, I'm out here because Jan is 7 and I thought I should serve. And then Atherin's like, yeah, me too. That's exactly why I'm here. And just gets mowed down by Kira, Battle Master, versus a sympathetic character who runs into a sword.
Yeah, don't run into swords, kids.
Well, who does that? Seriously, who does that?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He's, I mean, people have mocked me for calling the red uniform people um the elite and everything like that, but I mean, technically they are at least military trained. I'd like to think military training at least puts you above running into the weapon of the enemy.
You would think so.
You ever seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
No.
Uh, it's like a cabin in the woods sort of movie, but it's a comedy horror.
I know. I know about it. I've just never seen it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it has that same effect, people running through the woods and fucking killing themselves by accident.
Yeah, I remember the trailer now.
Well,
God damn.
it's a great movie. What I'm thinking of, like, dude's watching the guy trying to chainsaw the bees that are attacking him because he's holding a chainsaw, so he's just doing it. And he thinks he's being attacked by the chainsaw guy, so he's running away and then impales himself on a tree branch coming out. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
what idiots do this? And he can't do it to one of the main bad guys.
but they
Anyway,
did.
as you've indicated, we're going into an episode now where Kira should be dead.
Yes, and so Kira's dead, and he's no longer the main character. That's what happens, right?
Except for the fact that they've given him a new intro and outro with him doing stuff. So,
Yeah, yeah,
but yeah, I brought up the board here since you're done with your recap, and I didn't really do that thing I said I was going to do. I said I was going to lay them out. I said I was going to lay out all these kids horizontally, and I didn't do that.
You did. So you did not lay out the kids horizontally.
No, I wanted to lay those kids out and open them up so I could put a lot of lines on them, but I decided not to do that. Look, there's no good way to phrase it any which
No,
way,
no,
so I might as well just
there,
embrace the funny way.
it's true. There's not. There's not.
So I just, in fact, spread the distance between them and the Zaft guys so that I could, lay out the lines more, and then I just put the parents right next to them. Normally, I would like to connect them in a way that, I'd probably like take this line from Sai here, line it down, go over and put it in the middle, because I'd like to represent the connection between the parents to their
Yeah.
kids, rather than just say Sai's related to his dad, his dad's related to his mom, because it's disingenuous to the family connection. Kind of the way like Buzzkirk down here is. So maybe I'll do that again in the future. Otherwise, though, obviously Toll dead. Uh,
Yep.
we had that sad moment where Hawes on the bridge and she's watching Kira's connection, but Hawes' connection is right underneath it, and it goes like dead.
Yep.
And that's what we get from her. And of course, Nico down here. Oh, yeah, crossed out the Aegis. The Aegis is fucking self-destructed. The
Yep.
Blitz has been melted in its own explosion. Nicole obviously died just before that.
Yep. So
So,
now we're gonna have Martin DaCosta take the place of Nicole.
no, actually, well, we know it's not. Remember the opening? We've already gone over the opening of the new people.
Yeah, I know.
A bunch of them have green hair, ironically. Okay. Well, that's the board. I, of course, have a lot of thoughts to go through here.
Let's do it.
I'm pretty sure Kigali is a natural. She was impressed by Kira's typing skills, which I'm pretty sure we've seen just about every coordinator has.
That could very much be true. I think the fact that Kigali is a secret coordinator is slowly being less and less likely.
Izumi says the children met each other with no prior knowledge of each other, so our guess to who Kira is related to can be narrowed down only to the people he's met. Sounds like a joke, but there are a lot of people he hasn't met that we know as characters. Plus, it's someone he didn't know before the events of the show, it would seem. Meaning to me, it can't be Atherin, since they knew each other, since they grew up together. Once again, Azumi says the children met each other with no prior knowledge of each other. And we start the show with an Atherin flashback as the children. My whole his Girl Scout uniform.
You know what? That's right. He's related to Nicole.
Well, I got more going here. The fact that Azumi is the one saying it, and the parents didn't want to see him ever again, I'm almost thinking he's related to Kigali. And but I watched it again like yesterday I think, and wrote down. Then again, the other night I was trying to deep dive the opening, and thought it might be Lacus.
Hmm.
Well, who's the
I
person that? Who are the people he's only just met during the course of the show, and then only just recently?
um I like the idea of him and Kigali being related only for the fact that that would give a solid reason as to why they feel a natural kinship.
Well, it would be a solid reason why they couldn't be a thing.
That too.
Sorry, my mind ventured off into a show that you're not. You know how I keep venturing off into Macross?
Yep.
One of the relationships in the original Macross, the 1980s show, is Lin Min Mei and Kaifun, and Kaifun is her cousin. So it's very weird. It's an open, not open relationship. It's an openly known relationship, and nobody has a problem with. And it's like, that's her cousin.
It's a choice.
I mean, they're both famous people in the show too. One is the world's most well-known idol, and the other one is a movie star. It's everyone knows. Anyway, that's just the first thing that popped into my head. I think my main push was for Kigali because Azumi, Kira's parents, don't want to meet up with Azumi again, assumably because of the shit that happened before. We know
Yep.
Kira's from here, Kigali's from here. It seems maybe like they did this experiment with maybe both of their kids or something like that. Maybe they're related in some weird way. Or maybe it's like what's the thing called where you give a woman someone else's egg.
Artificial insemination.
I think that's men. I think that's when you use another man's sperm. I'm talking about when you give like you
Oh,
harvest another woman's egg and you put that into another woman's
yeah,
uterus.
yeah, yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
I mean, would that make them related if two different mothers gave birth to two different
Yes.
kids with one woman's eggs?
Yes, because the egg is fertilized first.
Because that could be the reason why. Like, this is like sci-fi pushing. Not even sci-fi pushing. This is just pushing the limits of what could have possibly happened. I think we're outside the realm of Occam's razor when it comes to this, but could explain it. With Lacus, I don't remember why I thought it was Lacus. Kigali was my original thought, and apparently when I was deep diving the opening, and now I don't even remember why, I wrote it down, Lacus. Maybe it's because I don't want them to be together.
That might be why.
Alright, let's see here. I didn't notice it the first time watching the episode, but the slow rolling orchestral version of the first outro of the show that plays in episode 26 is amazing. I think that's 2 episodes back.
Yep. Agreed.
Well, I think I have mentioned this a number of times. I don't really hear the music that much when I'm reacting to it. It's only going back because when I'm going back, I'm not wearing the headset.
Yeah, because I remember that we uh we left on the on one of the previous recordings on why the hell did they change the music?
Well, yeah,
This would
because
have been perfect.
the ending song from the first ending is a real slow, like melodramatic noise, and it's like we're leaving on someone's death, so it would be perfect. And then they changed it, and it's like
Yep.
Kira reprogrammed the orb mobile suits to make naturals able to use them. Even LaFlaga commented on if he'd be able to use one, so I expect that to come to play down the road.
100%.
So, something that was said during Turning Point that we missed. Bad Girl asks if Kigali's dad really didn't know about Orb's involvement in the creation of the mobile suits and the Archangel. Egyptian Rambo confirms that he didn't, and that a number of ministers, sorry, I put emphasis on he, that he didn't, being Uzami, didn't.
Yep.
And that a number of ministers acted independently under pressure from the Atlantic Federation, which you may remember as the group that ran Artemis and tried to take the strike in the Archangel. Finally giving motivation to that whole arc, beyond just one part of an alliance trying to get a leg up on another.
That puts Artemis in a new light, because it turns actions that were slightly suspect into more of a grander sort of like, I'm not gonna say coup, but power grab.
Well, it reforms the context, as you said. The Atlantic Federation had these things made or forced them to make them, and then when Heliopolis gets destroyed, the project that they pushed to get made literally runs right at them. So in their minds, we made them make these things. They're kind of ours. So we should have the authority to just take them.
Yeah.
And we don't know that at the time, and it's just like they're being weirdos about it. Let's see. Also, Toll. I had referenced that we only saw Toll behind Kigali when she proved that she was a good pilot on the simulator. Well, same scene at the Atlantic Federation discussion. Toll gets a 2-second scene of him back on the simulator before talking to Murdoch in the hangar about how he'd been in the simulator, which then had Murdoch telling Kira and LaFlaga that they'd be better off having 2 planes out anyway.
Okay.
So there is more than just that one scene of Toll doing piloting stuff before we watch him go out and do piloting stuff.
Yeah, and it's very clear that he's not an unproficient pilot.
Kisaka, which I'm going to clarify here, is Egyptian Rambo's name.
Thank you.
Kisaka says he was originally from Tassel, which we know was in northern Africa, so there is a chance he could actually be Egyptian. So our nickname of Egyptian Rambo might not be far off.
I am happy. I'm going to accept that we were correct on that one.
Well, I don't know if I'm just like trying to self-correct here before someone says that's racist. Calling that guy Egyptian Rambo is racist. It's like, well, he is from northern Egypt. There is a non-0% chance he is Egyptian, and he does look like Rambo.
True.
The thing that I disagree with the most in shows like this is the approach to solving conflict that is trying to be expressed, or more so when it is being expressed. Kigali's dad, for example, telling his daughter not to fight. I get his point. You kill people, and the people they love will want to kill you. Fine, makes sense. At the same time, a war is still going on. It's not all about attacking. You still have to defend yourself. And people die in defensive actions. Janus 7 is already the motivator for most of our zaft characters to fight. Trying to avoid inspiring more people to that same action is all well and good, but it does nothing to prevent more deaths from currently ongoing aggressive actions. You need people to defend the people that are already in danger.
It's a fine line. That's one of those things where you can't. It's not a black and white thing, because there's merit to, you need people on the front line. No, it was the point of, it's a very fine line of, don't go to war, you're gonna kill people, and going to war to protect, and like anytime you veer on that idea, that's a fine. You need a very fine-tooth comb to figure out what side is correct, because it's different in every instance.
Well, I mean, even from my perspective, what I was saying is you're already in a war, and you have to take defensive actions, and those defensive actions are going to get people killed, which is already itself going against the prescribed motivations of the people, or I'm sorry, of the message of the show, which is to say, if you kill somebody, everyone that ever cared about that person is now going to have negative emotions towards you. And
Yeah,
if you're defending yourself, you're already morally in the right to try and defend your own life. So
correct.
there is no win in that scenario. So either you're going to lay
Agreed.
down your life to try and prevent the deaths of the ongoing conflict, or defend yourself. And one of those sounds stupider than the other one.
Wholeheartedly agree. Again, it's a in this instance, I agree with what you are saying, but it's in general, especially from someone who hasn't been in the conflict directly. I get the point. I get the point of view.
Let's see here. I think everyone that LaFlaga has told let's not get shot down has gotten shot down so far.
Yeah.
I think my problem with all the Strikes combat packages is that they just get introduced out of nowhere. All the time we spend on the ship, we never look at all the Strikes combat loadouts or discuss where they came from. Like, did the Archangel get loaded with the Strike's combat loadouts before the Strike ever got transported onto the ship? Does that mean that the Archangel should have all the spare parts for all the other 4 Gundams as well? Uh, I guess my problem is that by them not talking about it, they just leave it open to introduce whatever they want later, which isn't very good world building.
Yeah, I could see that.
Last episode, Kira gave Flay a "we'll talk when I get back," which would be a death flag for any non-main character. The funny thing then is that he gets pushed closer to death than he ever has before. After having said that, granted the situation he was in, we both think he should be dead, unless they pull something out in this episode to explain it.
Um, unless they pull out some crazy explanation to explain it, he should be dead. The explosion, the concussive force, the shrapnel.
I mean, I think I said last time the fact that Atherin at least started flying away the moment he activated the self-destruct would be a
Yes,
reason that if Kira was shown to then be flying away, that he'd have a chance. But Kira's still sitting in the cockpit last time we see him, and Atherin is already well off on his way to get away.
exactly.
Alright, my last thought here. So, a recap. The Aegis is gone, self-destructed. The Blitz got cut in half and melted down after the explosion. Buster got its arm shot off, crashed, and got captured. Duel got its leg shot off and evidently fell somewhere. Yasek is now 2-0 on falling from a height in a Gundam, going off screen, and seeming to survive, assuming that he does survive. And of course, the Strike, which got cut open and was at the center of the detonation of another Gundam. I would assume it would be destroyed, but then I'd also assume that anyone piloting it would be dead. Considering both are related to the main character, that seems unlikely. If this was a game and not a story, I'd only bet on the dual Gundam surviving for zaft use and the Buster being used by anyone on the Archangel.
I completely agree with that logic, and I think if the show had the balls to do it, I would go with that same method.
Alright, well, you have any other thoughts before we get into this?
I do not.
Well, let's go ahead and get on into it.
Hell yeah.
Brand new episode, brand new animation, brand new chance to show Kira doing something to save himself.
Yeah.
Or also Toll's head coming off of his body. I know it's horrible, but I did literally say when Toll was getting up on the bridge that I'd remember his last words being and he did it there right before his death too.
Yeah. So not only is the cockpit ripped open, the strike is also one-armed.
Yeah, but I mean, less effect there on Kira getting in the blast.
Yeah.
See, he was right there.
Yeah, no, that's a dead Kira.
And their reader indicates they didn't have anything from the strike anymore. However, I don't know what we just saw there at the very end. At the very end, it looked like we just saw the strike laying on the ground.
That doesn't make sense.
I'm assuming that was the strike. Could have been the Buster.
True,
Better have been the strike, though. Why would the Buster wasn't on the same island, was it?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I remember the Buster landed and it was laying on the ground. So it also implied that an entire Gundam could self-destruct in front of you and literally do no damage. I don't know. The problem is now we've got to see what happens, and there's not much to talk about.
Yeah. Like, it's more, we're stuck in a spot that we don't know the status quo.
Well, I mean, it's not even the status quo. It's just what happened. Essentially, we ended one episode not knowing what happened, and
because those also look like upgraded Gundams.
oh, that was a bad omen, calling that jet Grieving Skies.
爆発はわかりません。ですが現在、ストライク、スカイグラスパー2号機ともに全ての更新が途絶です。キラ、落として。
Come on.
もうやめろ。
We don't need to be broadcasting to zaft that we may have lost the Gundam.
Yeah.
ここでほうけていてもどうにもなりません。マードク総長。
Bad girl, back to trying to abandon people.
It's not abandoning people. It's making sure that you yourself are not screwed.
Do you not remember the search operation that she was trying to actively stop from happening?
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, it wasn't the Buster then. They've taken the Buster.
Okay. Okay.
I guess Dins have just completely replaced Jins. How can they possibly not last 10 minutes against Dins? We've had episodes where they've been fighting the Gundams longer than that.
But they did just crash.
Did they? I think they crashed. They were hovering over the island last we saw them.
No, they crashed into it.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. I remember making Star Trek Generations comments. I used to be unfair to Millie. If her whole station is communications and you no longer have anybody outside the thing.
Yeah.
この状況で戻るなどできません。翔さん1号機はダメだ、まだ出られん。艦長、離脱しなければやられます。でも、もしかしてキラもトールも脱出してたら。
Oh, no. Toll didn't escape.
音ありません。艦長、クルー全員に。
Well, we know Toll for sure.
Yeah.
打電を続けて。
Well,
それと。
his head escaped at least.
人命救助よ。オーブは受けてくれるわ。しかし、あの国に責任は私が取ります。ディーン接近。距離8000。期間最大。この区域からの離脱を最優先とする。
You're not even falling in the direction that the camera's angled in.
Yep.
How don't you? Ha, I understand. She's been connected to Toll since like episode 1.
Hey, Flay needs her needs her guard dog.
Ojo-chan. トールはそんなはずないんです。MIA だなんてそんなはず。だから。
Technically you're correct. It sucks, but technically you're correct. The pod blows up, everybody dies.
Yeah, how's Orb gonna handle this? They did say they were heading back towards Orb, didn't they?
No, they were getting out of the region.
Ah, okay, that makes more sense. There we go. Yeah, as a survivor of everything.
状況はどうなっている？2人は不明だ。我々にはクルーゼ隊長から祈祷命令が出ている。不明？不明とはどういうことだ？
This also could put Kigali and Atherin in the same place.
やがて大きな爆発を確認した後、イージスとの交信も途切れた。まず死はどちらからも出ていない。
Unless the explosion did like an EMP effect.
Yeah.
Also, how does the duel get repaired when they cut off a leg? How do they have Gundam repair parts?
Don't know.
我々は祈祷を命じられたのだ。捜索には別部隊が出る。だが、オーブが動いているという報告もあるのだ。分かってもらえるかな。
Also, the thing I wanted to bring up was it seems like LaFlaga is taking control of the team again.
Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah.
Lecrest. Lecrest, not LaFlaga. The law names are fucking me up. Is Orb coming out here not like evidence that they made these things now?
It kind of is.
Oh, look at it. The strike. Shouldn't you be happy? He took 2 of the war machines out of the picture. I mean, that's what we regarded in the next time on. That fucking melted the seat. He should be in there, though. It melted the seat. Where could it possibly have thrown him?
Get out of here.
No. Atherin probably flew out over the water, crashed into the water, and then got brought back to shore by the tide, I imagine.
Yeah.
Look, we're not going to be satisfied with Kira surviving. So
No.
just know that, dear viewer.
Exactly.
Suck it up, I guess.
Don't do that. That's gonna hurt like a bitch.
ここはオーブの飛行艇の中だ。我々は浜に倒れていたお前を発見し収容した。
オーブ中立のオーブが俺に何の用だ。それとも今は地球軍か。
聞きたいことがある。ストライクをやったのはお前だな。パイロットはどうした？お前のように脱出したのか？
Yeah, hopefully he's dead.
それとも見つからないんだ。キラがなんとか言えよ。
He's part of the seat.
俺が殺した。殺した。俺がイージスで組みついて自爆した。脱出できたとは思えない。
And I saw with my own eyes that he did not escape the cockpit before the explosion went off.
手がなかった。あいつを倒すには。
Yep.
You
Ow.
mind? My arm's fucking broken here.
Let's add some broken ribs to that.
でもなんで俺は生きてるんだ。
Because he flew away?
あの時脱出しちゃったからか。
いや。
お前が俺を撃つからか。
キラは危なっかしくてわけわかんなくてすぐ泣いて。でも優しいいいやつだったんだぞ。
He killed my best friend. How about that?
やっぱり変わってないんだな。昔からそうだ。あいつは
お前
泣き虫で甘ったれで優秀なのにいい加減なやつだ。
キラを知ってるのか？
Bitch.
知ってるよ。
You
Yeah?
saw them talking through a fence. You
Yeah.
recognized them.
ずっと友達だったんだ。仲良かったよ。
それでなんでそれでなんでお前があいつを殺すんだよ。
Because he killed fucking Nicole.
わからない。
Yeah, man. Kira was a problem.
わからないさ。俺にも。
You have no idea.
別れて
You've been talking to him about it for 20 episodes.
敵
一緒に来いと何度も言った。あいつはコーディネーターだ。俺たちの仲間なんだ。地球軍にいることの方がおかしい。
お前
なのにあいつは聞かなくて。俺たちと戦って仲間を傷つけて。
Yep.
ニコルを殺した。
I mean, arguably, he also killed
キラを殺したの。
Rusty. And y'all fucking loved Rusty, too.
敵なんだ。今のあいつはもう。
Justice for
して
Rusty.
ないじゃないか。
バカ野郎。なんでそんなことになる。なんでそんなことしなきゃならないんだよ。
あいつはニコルを殺した。
Bam!
ピアノが好きでまだ15でそれでもプラントを守るために戦ってたあいつを。
キラだって守りたいもののために戦っただけだ。なのになんで殺されなきゃならない。それも友達のお前に。
Arguably, Kira killed Atherin's friends first.
殺されたから
Yeah.
殺して殺したから殺されてそれで本当に最後は平和になるのかよ。
I guess arguably the only people that would be left were the people who aren't killing anybody. All the killers will kill each other.
Yep, if you kill
then the overpopulation problem will get fixed. And by that getting fixed, the global warming will probably be solved as well. It's really all win-wins all the way down.
All we need is global colding. That's the problem.
I mean, that's the thing. You know, you put space mirrors in the orbit of Earth between it and the sun to reflect the heat away.
Yeah, but that usually doesn't end well.
No, actually it does. It's one of the solutions in the last sci-fi series. Use those same mirrors to heat up Mars for terraforming.
アラスカへは初入港ですもんね。データを送って問題はないと思うわ。
And we're at Alaska?
No, I think Alaska's trying to contact us.
でも、随分あっさり引いてくれましたね。
No, she just said because it's our first time to Alaska.
アラスカとやろうって気はないだろう。向こうも。
No, I guess you're right.
そんなに。
いつまで喋っている？
What?
まだ第二戦闘配備だぞ。あ、ごめんなさい。もう大丈夫よね。半減休息とします。
第二戦闘配備解除。半減休息。繰り返す。
The speed of which we've been traveling has just been so slow that I just didn't anticipate we were here. We can't be in Alaska then. If he wants to get back to search for the kids, that'd be so far away.
整備班をもう休ませてください。
オーブからはまだ何も言ってきてないんだろう。
ええ、でも。
船はもう大丈夫なんだ。ならいいじゃねえかよ。
Unless we're just in the Alaska base's perimeter, which might be large.
I'm guessing it's that.
私だってできることなら今すぐ助けに飛んでいきたいわ。でもそれはできないんです。
艦長。
今の状況で少佐を一気で出すようなこともできません。それであなたまで戻ってこなかったら私は。
I mean, technically, you're both the same ranks. You can't.
Yeah.
He gave you the authority to command the ship by not wanting that, so I guess technically he still has to listen to you.
ラジャー。
アーガイル二等兵。Kに非二等兵とヤマト少尉の遺品を整理しろ。
遺品？だってまだ。
艦長が MIA と認定したんだ。これが決まり。
Again, I don't think you understand the difference between MIA and KIA.
Well, they haven't been confirmed killed.
Yeah, I know. Just they're constantly treating MIA as dead.
Yeah, no, I think there should be at least a couple of KIAs thrown out.
MIA 戦闘中行方不明。未確認の戦士のことだって。
See, they said this before. This is why I have the whole debate about killed in action means something else.
Yeah.
俺が知ってんのはそれだけだよ。
ちょっと待ってよ。だからキラはどこ？
だからわかんないんだよ。生きてんのかどうかさえ。
ちょっと何よそれは。
What? You play.
I know. It's like literally giving you like the textbook definition of terms, and you didn't pick it up.
Yeah.
Also, this is. I mean, it's not what she wanted for him. She wanted to use him. She didn't want him to be killed because
Yeah.
a dead person can't be used.
いや。でも大丈夫だよ。きっと艦長がオーブに捜索を頼んでる。本部へ行けばなんかわかるかもしんないし。
そうよね。そんなはずないもの。
Oh.
試食堂行こう。こんなとこに一人でいちゃダメだ。
なんだよ、そうつつくなよ。怪我人だぞ俺は。たく、いつまで放っておく気だったんだよ。
We had more character development for him, though.
Yes.
バスターのパイロットだ。若いな。
And exactly the kind of coordinator they've been afraid of this whole time.
こんな女の子も乗ってんの。ほら、ばっかみたい。何泣いてんだよ。泣きたいのはこっちだっつの。
Don't do it.
You already know what attacking a coordinator is like, Sai.
Yeah.
Also, can we talk about the fact that they put all the girls in pink uniforms?
I don't know if there's actual definable reason for it, so...
アスラほら迎えだザフトの軍人ではオーブには連れて行けないんだくそお前大丈夫か
やっぱり変なやつだなお前はありがとうっていうのかな今はよくわからないが
ちょっと待て
There's that thing from the end opening or the exit,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
守ってもらえ
キラを殺したのにか
もう誰にも死んでほしくない
貴様どの面下げて戻ってきやがった
Why? Because I killed the guy you wanted to kill?
ストライクは撃ったさ
What a smile.
Yeah, he's like, I did it.
No, Yazik. Yazik smiled.
Yeah.
He didn't do it.
そういうことは遊んであげませんよピンクちゃんいけませんよそちらは
How?
What?
I'm sorry, did you get teleported through space?
おはようございます
What the fuck?
Also, wait, is this a new ending?
Yes.
No, wait, this is the same one. I remember now, because he's still there. But what the fuck?
I don't remember that Gundam there at the bottom.
I remember this whole trail up because Nicole was down there and like, oh, he's in the ending,
Yeah.
he's still alive. Jesus Christ. How? How is he in a plant, but Atherin washed up on shore? Okay, wait, there's been a time skip, not a time skip, a time jump, remember? Because
Yes.
people are being processed now, Atherin's good enough to walk. So I
Okay.
guess conceivably he got transferred, but then that's a
that
lot of
doesn't-
work.
Yeah.
Maybe they are in Alaska.
それぞれに
So they are getting into Alaska.
癒しの場所を求めてさまよう心は沈みあるいは暴走する願ったものは何かたどり着いた場所は夢描いた世界でもなく再び新たな闇が迫るこれが時代というのなら人は次回機動戦士ガンダ
I
ム
don't
シ
think
ー
you're
ド
pulling that one off
約
play.
束の地に激動の渦駆け抜けろガンダム
I mean, this has to be the reason that they got to Alaska so fast, which was confusing to all two of us,
Yeah.
confusing to us, was because they had to time jump to explain Kira being alive, which doesn't even explain him being alive,
No,
but to
no.
explain him not being there with all the wreckage, because it has to imply that. Okay, problems all around here.
Yes.
Atherin was still there, which implies that Zaft came and picked up Kira and then brought him to a plant, but didn't save Atherin, who is arguably the son of the chairman. So they saved a nobody.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, no. Like none of it makes sense.
Okay, going into the Mind Palace here. Trying to put together what I know from other shows that this one's inspired by.
Yep.
What we saw in a previous episode. If you saw the board, you will have noticed there was a person that I put on there. who's not connected to anybody. And it was the guy that we saw during the fight, where the camera just pans back to a building with a guy standing around with a bunch of kids that are saying, like, what's happening? There's that guy's on the island.
Okay.
That guy, I'm not going to give you any clues to why I'm saying this because it was spoilers for a different show. That guy is probably connected to Zaft.
Okay.
Now, I have no idea why he would transport Kira to a plant, because if he is who I think he's supposed to be reflecting, he shouldn't have any contact with Zaft. He should be like former Zaft. But he is the only thing I can think of as to why Kira would get anywhere. My expectation was, because we both know he was going to be alive. The show isn't going to fucking progress without Kira. My expectation was that Kira was going to wake up in a bed in that guy's place. Not in Lacus's place up on a plant. I don't know how we get there.
I have zero clue how we got to where we are. I am left going, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, I mean, again, we don't like it, but it's the world we're in, so it's kind of have to expect it, right?
Of course.
That the show is not going to go forwards without its main character. Especially not this far in. So, as dumb as it is, as unbelievable as it is. So what?
I think we'll get an explanation that has some merit, but I don't know what that's going to be. Honestly, I have zero comprehension.
You're going further than I am. You're saying we're going to get an explanation that has some merit. I'm cut off the merit part, and I think we're going to be on the same page. We're going to get an explanation.
Understood.
Well, I mean, he should be dead.
Yes.
In my eyes, the strike should have been destroyed too, because we saw, what's it called? Buster? No, Buster was the guy who got captured. What's the name of Nicole's?
Oh, Blitz.
Yeah. Blitz got blown up after it got cut in half, and the wreckage we saw was like melted down. So they just can't take that kind of explosion. So having the Aegis explode in its face, the strike should have been melted down too. But, we need it for future episodes. So
I don't like this explanation. Phase shift armor.
It doesn't apply. I don't feel like that applies because it was cut open, and the explosion would have been right there. Like, it melted the insides.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And the phase shift armor isn't on the inside, so literally there shouldn't have been a cockpit to be melted. I know. I appreciate trying to find something, but
yeah.
Also, is it just me, or is the last frame? I don't know if your thing pauses on the last frame. I have mine set up to do it so that the
does
overlay.
Not, but I will.
Well, there's not anything specifically there, because if you haven't been paying attention to it, this isn't going to mean anything to you. But on the final frame of every episode, you have the color grayscale color thing.
Yep.
And I feel like the grayscale is maybe getting smaller every time. Like I said, if you haven't been paying attention to it or watching the final thing, then it wouldn't mean anything to you. But I always try to make sure that my what I'm watching it on stops right at the end, because otherwise it'll close and minimize, and then my whole OBS thing down here gets all messed up.
Yeah.
So when we have longer conversations, I notice, and this one seems like it's a thinner strip than it ever was before.
That's possible.
Well, I mean, it would imply that there's some sort of like visual countdown happening. I don't know if you've ever watched like God, I don't know what to call it. Sometimes there's videos that are in full size, but the video itself is in like short, maybe long format.
Yep.
And what they'll do is, so it'll be like a short format, which is like up and down, and those are typically 1 minute, but it'll be like a 5-minute video. And what
Yep.
they'll do is they'll have like a background, and then the video will slowly pan across the screen through the entire thing.
I know what you're talking
So
about.
by the time it hits the right edge of the screen, the video's over. So, like, that sort of thing. It's a visual metaphor for a countdown. If it is happening at all. I could just be going crazy. I already feel like I'm on crazy pills from the whole Kira's alive and in space.
Yeah.
I got blasted so hard by that explosion, I flew through space.
I'm in the same boat on that.
And it's the double damn of it, you know? Because it's Lacus's place. So,
Yeah.
Atherin gets left behind floating in the water, while the guy who actively was trying to kill winds up at his fiance's place.
Yeah, it's messed up.
And he didn't get picked up by zaft, because we know that they didn't know where he was. You know, the fact that Yasek shows up, or goes to the bridge of the underwater thing. It's like, is there any emergency transmissions? Is there anything happening? Well, you know, they think they would know if they had a transport in the area.
You would think so? I don't know.
All right. Well, anything else you wanna add to this before?
No.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up here then. Once again, I have been Theta. This has been Justin. We have been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?